After a freak accident in a cursed town, Corey lives under the radar and works in a junkyard. By happenstance, he meets another soul who's burdened by tragedy, Laurie Strode. This Halloween, the curse of Haddonfield comes to an end. Hey everyone, welcome back to Clubhouse Movies Podcast. I'm your host, Mark Robocaba, joined once again by Mr. Abel Panetta, and today we'll be reviewing Halloween Ends, directed by David Gordon Green. All right, let's get right into this movie. This movie. I saw it twice. And
I saw it once, but then I kept rewinding just because I wanted to catch up on things.
This movie, for whatever reason, is getting mixed reviews at this moment.
Yeah, I'm going to just say it right out, flat out. I liked it.
I liked it too. And I liked it better than I thought I would. And I know I keep saying that.
Yeah.
But they really made a divisive movie that took some risks.
It did.
And you cannot fault them for that.
No.
And they did it within the legend and the lore of Halloween in many ways, but also as a tribute to other horror movies.
Yeah, it was a horror movie
as well. And I think in a way it's almost like an official sequel to Psycho and
or an evolution of Psycho.
Yeah,
like that.
Just a lot of that.
There's a lot of nods. Like if you're watching it, and you don't even have to be a huge fan of horror. Like if you've seen most of the mainstream horror movies, which everyone really has, I mean, you're gonna catch a lot of the nods in this movie.
And this movie also is a deeper connection to maybe like even psychology.
Yes.
And the cycle of, I forgot the word, the cycle of trauma, where they find each other, victims and victim. What's the victim and what do they prey on?
I have no idea.
Oh, other way around. Tormentor victim.
Yes.
Tormentor victim mentality. Yeah. And the cycle that it perpetuates and how these people find each other.
Yeah. Like they just find each other. And like they really do in this movie. It seems almost like a mythos that they find each other. Like when you're watching the protagonist meet Michael Myers, you're just like, whoa, what's going to happen here?
And I saw it again. I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. Like this is happening again. Like, because they didn't even catch that. And even like the title sequence shows the cycle of trauma.
Yeah,
in a way.
It does. Yeah.
and if you've ever seen like a Halloween movie, it's a bunch of pumpkins.
Yeah. And if you see it, you'll know exactly what we're talking about.
Yes. And getting right into this movie, like I was watching it. I saw it for the first time in theaters and I saw it for the second time at home because you're able to watch this one at home.
I saw it at home because
But there's a tragedy at the very beginning.
Man.
And then like, but I'm going to tell you, like I was watching and like my sister was like watching like, oh yeah, he's going to die. And I'm like, Michael Myers is going to kill him. Like, it's actually worse than that.
It is worse.
It's actually worse than that.
He's a death by chance.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like literally a freak accident.
A freak accident caused by a psychological effect. Like, it's like, no joke. So the way the movie begins is the babysitter arrives and he's the main character here. And he,
the babysitter, a new character.
Yes. A whole new character to this whole thing.
Named Corey.
Named Corey. And you're fully expecting, the babysitter's gonna get it. The way the mom walked into the foyer and just looks up this winding staircase, I was like, either she's going to be hung from it or he's going to fly off of it.
Something bad was going to happen with this
foreshadowing
giant house.
Was strong.
And
you see it.
Yeah, you see it. And, we're getting right into the movie.
Yeah.
So I think the way we do these is we talk about the movie sequentially and we come around back to our letter grade. So I think we're officially saying we liked it.
Yeah.
So we're going to get into the whole movie here because there's a few deeper levels here, I think. Levels anyway. We'll talk about it. That I think this movie was almost gearing towards, not gearing towards, but like in the movie, within the movie. Mm-hmm. But anyway, this guy Corey is the babysitter, but they're already saying he's not a typical babysitter. Our babysitter like called out, because like she was like sick or something, right? And this happened a year after the events of Halloween and Halloween Kills.
Yeah,
Halloween and Halloween Kills happened sequentially in 2018.
Yeah,
And I kind of seen Halloween Kills as kind of a weird mismatch of two movies.
Yeah, it was split oddly.
It was split oddly, but I liked them both. But they do this movie justice.
Yeah, this one, like I firmly say, this one could stand alone by itself.
It could stand alone by itself, and and Halloween 1 and 2 did do a lot to make this movie like its own.
And in the intro, they go over the whole thing, so you don't,
they go over the whole thing. But to me, this movie is like The Dark Knight Rises.
It is, right?
And it's
in a weird way.
It's a lot of movie.
It is.
A lot
happens pretty fast.
It's a horror movie where a lot of stuff happens. And then, like, if you remember The Dark Knight Rises, it's a lot of Bruce Wayne coming to terms with what he is.
Yeah.
And this movie, this movie is a lot of people coming to terms with what they are.
Yeah. Yes.
And I feel like in some ways, some people made it worse. Maybe they made it better. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
But so Corey is here. He's the babysitter, and he's the parents live in this mansion, this big house, and the mom is a roaring 20s woman partier, and the dad's a train conductor. He looked really funny for some reason. He was like playing piano.
Yeah.
And they seemed like good parents.
Yeah. So and they're getting ready to go out for a Halloween party.
Yeah. And then the mom tells the babysitter Corey that the kid is still kind of traumatized from Michael Myers last year, because if you remember, from last year it was like a whole thing. The whole city went after Michael Myers, and he got away. So the kid's been like wetting the bed. He's like having nightmares, and he's freaking out. And he's like, okay, it's fine. Like we'll do this. They immediately start watching The Thing.
That's what they were watching.
Directed by John Carpenter, who made Halloween and scored this movie.
And you know what's funny? I was telling my wife, I'm like, I've seen this movie that they're watching.
Really famous movie.
I could not place it. Now I'm just like, okay.
It's a movie within. I like to think that movies have last action hero rules.
They should. I think they should.
If you remember Last Action Hero, there's a scene where the kid was trying to convince Jack Slater, who is identical to Arnold Schwarzenegger. No, you're Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'll prove it. And they go to Blockbuster Video, and it says Terminator 2, starring Sylvester Stallone.
That had me laughing out loud.
It's a Photoshop. So I like to think that someone else. No, in this world, John Carpenter made another movie. Maybe he made Friday the 13th.
Yeah,
in this world. But anyway, he's watching. Corey and the kid are watching The Thing, right? And the kid is like really douchey.
I want to watch this movie. And I don't really feel like pretending to be best friends with an ugly ass boy babysitter.
He's like really... He's an a-hole, man.
He's a complete a-hole. Like, you're a lousy babysitter. I'm not scared. And then he's like, well, I'm 21. I'm not scared of anything. He's like, well, you're lousy and you're ugly and no one likes you. Like, he says a bunch of weird stuff.
The kid's like personally attacking this guy. He's like, dude, I'm just trying to watch you, man.
Yeah. And he's like, well, fine. We'll put you to bed like sooner rather than later, because like he's like, you're the worst babysitter ever. He's like, fine. And then he goes, and what does he grab from the refrigerator?
He sees 2 beers, and he was told, grab anything you want. He goes for the chocolate milk.
Yeah, he goes for like the Yoo-Hoo, the knockoff third-rate Yoo-Hoo in this movie.
The You-How.
Hey, exactly. Why is Gamora? And on the chopping blocks, very obviously, nice. Jimmy the drummer back at it.
Too much time on the show.
Lame. Anyway. And then on the chopping block is a piece of bread with a very obvious bread knife.
Yeah.
And if you know,
like
bread
the
knife,
sharpest bread knife I've ever seen in my life, by the way.
Yeah. So while this teenager is drinking his Yoo-Hoo, he hears a thud. And then like, oh no, he hears
like something collapse.
He's like, Timmy, I forget the kid's name, little Tibby.
Yeah.
And then like the doors open, like clearly like horror movie cliche.
Yeah, like cliche after cliche here.
Yeah. And then
the lamp was knocked over?
Yeah, everything.
Flickering.
And then here's like a screaming like coming from like the upstairs. No, he's like, Timmy, are you okay? Tibby?
Yeah, and this is like a 3-floor house. So it's like that scream is far away.
Yeah, and the what do you call it? Like the staircase is like a big spiral staircase, so you can like look straight. Think about like Ghostbusters when they're walking up all the way, all those stairs. It's kind of the same thing, but like it goes up like three or four stories of this.
Yeah, something. That's a crazy house.
And
it's got like 4 fireplaces according to the chimneys I saw.
Yeah, and he goes into the attic because the door's open to the attic or like a storage room, and he's like walking through it, and it's like all creepy. He's like a flashlight, like trying to find out what's going on. And then the kid makes this stupid move and shuts the door behind him. He goes, hey, I fooled you. He's not scared of anything. And then like Corey's like, you got me. Yeah. He's like, well, I thought you're not scared of anything. You sound scared to me.
Buddy, hey, let me out.
Are you scared?
Jake?
I'm scared.
Jeremy, let me out. Let me out.
Yeah.
So the kid's just like laughing his ass off. And then Corey goes ape on this door.
Yeah.
And as he's going ape on this door, by the way, I forgot to mention, he grabbed the kitchen knife.
Yeah, so he's up there because obviously he thinks something is afoot.
There is a serial killer on the loose.
So it's like it behooves him to be armed. If he hears a kid screaming up on the third floor of this house.
Yeah, and then as this is happening, the parents are coming back.
Yeah.
And they're just coming back, and then like Corey's going to town on this door, just
and then,
kicking it down.
Yeah, then he literally Sparta kicks the door.
Yeah,
300 style.
Yeah,
and of course, little kid, you cow over here.
And you, by the way, you mentioned no Wilhelms.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm gonna try to time this right.
Yeah,
so the mom is okay. The mom hears the thudding, and then the kid going like making all kinds of noise, and then the Corey says, "I'm gonna kill you."
Yeah,
like that. Oh, I'm gonna kill you when I get out of here. And then he hears like,
I'm gonna kill you, Jeremy.
What was that?
hear that, and the parents see this just happen. Like
the kid just becomes like Jew-owned. Maybe that's what it came from. Just pretzeled on the ground because he fell down all the floors of stairs.
Yeah.
And
then, of course, the camera pans up and the mom sees Corey with a knife leaning over the banister after having literally just said, "I'm going to kill you." Purely by chance. I'm like, oh my God. Apparently this kid had like a promising college career.
Yeah, he was going to be an engineer.
Yeah.
He's going to be an engineer or a botanist or something. He's talking about like planting things. And then the mom's like, "You're dead, this. You're dead. Yeah, you." And then the song starts. And then as I was saying, the opening credits, this one mimics the opening credits to Halloween 2. And at the beginning of Halloween 2 was a pumpkin, and it slowly opened up and revealed a skeleton. So like maybe that skeleton's the closet, but like the way it opened up, you can see like all the guts of the
everything.
This movie had the pumpkin playing the Halloween theme, and it kept opening up into different pumpkins.
Yeah.
And every pumpkin is either more gnarly or one looked does gnarly, one looked and it was so creepy. And
it was like unnerving to see those pumpkins.
And the sound,
like I have a pretty good sound system in my house, so I'm like hearing this. Yeah, and
I saw it in IMAX.
Dude, it feels like that in my house when I have my freaking speakers on. And I'm just like, no joke. That was for me. That was the most unnerving part about this movie was the intro.
Yeah, and then the thing about these pumpkins, the last one was untouched. It was like a virgin pumpkin.
Yeah,
and it just opened up into the movie.
Yeah, you're like, okay,
wow.
you're like that was the preface to this. That
was awesome.
Yeah,
it was like a roller coaster into like the thing, and then they go over the events of the last 40 years. Some things worth noting that did happen in Halloween Kills was Michael Myers took a lot of damage.
Yeah,
he came out of the fire.
He was maimed pretty well.
He messed up this one woman who was Laurie's neighbor.
Yeah,
we thought she was dead because he literally smashed her neck into broken glass.
Yeah,
and then at the end of Halloween Kills, the townspeople pretty much went to town on Michael Myers. They stabbed him. They shot him up.
Yeah, people were trying to get him like crazy. Like
and then he got like a second wind and like killed everyone there.
Yeah,
and then somehow was able to sneak back into his old house and kill Laurie Strode's daughter.
Yeah.
So that happened.
And the two owners of the house.
Yeah, and everybody else.
Yeah.
Everyone who crossed his path was turned to pizza, pretty much. And so they just kind of go over, like Laurie Strode is writing a book about Halloween. So it's not like just her narrating the movie. She's writing a book about like Halloween and everything that's happening.
It's like Stranger Than Fiction.
Yeah. And Laurie Strode in the last one was like Sarah Connor, right?
Yeah.
In 2018, I should say. And then in the Halloween Kills, she was pretty much bedridden. And
she had like slashed gut and everything. She was just in the hospital the entire time.
But just like Halloween 2, she was in the hospital the entire time. And the entire city like pretty much went crazy.
Yeah.
And she was saying that there's like a curse on the city, and they show like the aftermath of the situation with Corey, where Laurie Strode's driving by and she sees like Corey being thrown in the car, but she sees like suicides and murders, and like all kinds of crazy stuff. And the Sheriff Hawkins, he's like he's like people being shot, and they're like, "You think Michael did it?" Like Michael doesn't use guns. So it just seems like that the city is cursed now. And maybe Corey started it, and then there was a 2-year disappearance of like anything that happened. I wonder what happened there.
Yeah,
I think it might rhyme with a schmovid. But anyway, so obviously it wasn't a good few years since the Halloween incident in that. So then we catch up with Laurie Strode. She's bought a house and she lives pretty much in her whole neighborhood.
Yeah.
They demolished the old Michael Myers house.
Yeah, she's come to accept that. Like, she's like, you know what? I can't protect everything or all my stuff. I'm just gonna live as normal a life as I can.
Yeah, no traps, no games, just her versus like the world or whatever. She lives with her daughter, who is a nurse at the hospital, and there's a wacky DJ who's like, who keeps on spreading like he's like, we know where Michael Myers is. He went back in time and killed Kennedy. Like,
yeah, he's just this crazy guy. Just keeps like the mythos of Michael Myers alive through just crazy assumptions.
And to me, that reminded me of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where the second one, where it was a woman DJ, but like but somehow that the DJ, like just kind of that whole scene, reminded me of the. Like something bad is going to happen.
Well, then again, we just got to the point where we were saying this movie was an ode. To like.
So to me, that was an
movies.
ode to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, kind of there. And then we catch up with Corey, who is not in jail, working at a shop. Yeah, and
obviously he was going to be an engineer, so it just makes sense.
Yeah. So now he's just working at a junkyard mechanic shop, kind of big, like tow yard or whatever, right? And the owner of the tow yard is mad at him for being late because he just rides a bike everywhere. Yeah. And he gives him a motorcycle.
Yeah, for me, not just any motorcycle. He gives him a pretty sweet Honda Scrambler.
Even though they kept knocking it. Everyone was knocking it in this movie, but he was doing some sweet stunts in this movie.
Yeah, the thing is, that freaking bike now, if he got it, if someone gifted you that bike, not even brand new, obviously, if it was just running, you could get a cool few grand for that thing.
And I thought this was weird in the beginning, but as it turns out, the shop owner is actually his dad.
Yeah.
Right. But
I thought I had the stepdad vibes. I don't know if it felt like that, but it probably was his dad.
So the reason why I thought it was his stepdad at first, but then I thought it was his dad ultimately, was because he kept on referring to his mom by her first name, and he kept on referring to his dad by his first name. Yeah. So maybe they're trying to get that maybe he's has some issues at home, right?
Yeah. Or they're trying to prepare us for the disconnect.
But there's a couple of things that happened before this, like the kid. Yeah. I think the kid was going to grow up to be Michael Myers in the beginning. And I think that he passed the curse on to Corey when Corey accidentally killed him. Because I think they keep going back to the Yoo-hoo. Yeah. And the Yoo-hoo is like this innocence. Right?
Yeah, like chocolate. It's just chocolate milk.
Just chocolate milk. The guy is...
He still goes after chocolate milk. And the thing is, we wouldn't bring it up if he didn't ever... Like, the way the camera immediately looks at the chocolate milk is just so purposeful. You're just like, that is innocence in this movie.
So there's a couple of things that happen. So...
Yeah. Spectacular filmmaking.
It was actually a good... I know he said that about Halloween Kills. I don't like Halloween Kills either because it turned into a mad world. But I think this whole arc is a good arc.
It is,
and I could see where I like what's his name, John Carpenter, the creator of the first one, came back to score and gave this one his blessing as opposed to a lot of the other ones.
Yeah, so he read it and was probably just like, man, this is going somewhere.
Because there's a scene that actually made no sense in context, but it makes sense if you think of this as a tribute to horror movies and other Halloween movies. Because there's a scene where Laurie Strode, her daughter, Allison, and Lindsay Wallace from the first movie, who's now their adult friend. Yeah. They're doing tarot cards, and they're talking about rebirth. And one era is ending, and a new one will begin, right?
Yeah.
The death card, right? And then, Laurie Strode's
didn't even catch that.
Yeah. And Laurie Strode's you need to get, you need to find yourself a boyfriend, someone who make you want to show your tits and dance, and then say, F the world. And she flicked everyone off, right? That was almost like a direct callback to the Rob Zombie Halloween movies, because that's how Laurie Strode and everyone talked in the Rob Zombie movies.
Oh, right.
So
it was like a House of a Thousand Corpses.
Yes,
crazy.
Exactly.
Yes.
And so
Wow.
even though Laurie
Hate
Strode,
that movie, but like for sure, that's that movie.
by the way, check out our Monsters review coming up.
It's fantastic.
But Rob Zombie movies, that's how they talk. So that was a like almost direct like callback to the type of language that they would use in a Rob Zombie movie.
Brash and just harsh.
So she channeled her Laurie Strode self in the Rob Zombie movie there.
Yeah.
Because I heard people like, what the heck? And like in the theater when I saw it.
Say what, Mama?
And I thought to myself, like, no, that's what she used to say. Like I think she even like did that.
Yeah.
Like teenage Laurie Strode, because
Wow.
like, yeah. So she's off to find her daughter a boyfriend.
Yeah.
So now we'll bring up the Yoo-Hoo again.
Yes.
So Corey rides his bike, is riding his bike home,
Yeah.
and he goes to get a Yoo-Hoo at a gas station,
Yep.
right? And he has the glass bottle Yoo-Hoo. I didn't have any glass bottles today.
Yeah.
But I always have Yoo-Hoo on tap, by the way. Costco. They're like a crate for $10.
I think I've had one Yahoo in my entire life.
Yoo-Hoo.
Or Yoo-Hoo. There you go.
Corey's the Yahoo.
Lactose intolerance for the win.
I think it's even fake milk. But anyway.
Hits me the same way.
Yeah, it gives you the farts. Beat me to it. But anyway, he comes out, and then we're talking about an homage to horror movies. He runs into like the punks from It.
Yes. Such D-bags.
Douchebags. Like, and
Man.
And I even wrote it down because I didn't catch it necessarily the first time. These guys were on the band team.
Yeah.
They weren't even jocks.
Yes.
They were in band. The guy was a drummer. With mullet man.
Yeah. Mullet thing, whatever the heck he's doing. And then you got douchebag. They were still, actually, the main dude was in his uniform.
Yeah, he was in his like Letterman jacket, like dressing
Yeah.
like a freaking like jock or whatever.
He had his band pants on. I'm like, get out of here, prom date. I'm like, what's going on, buddy?
And they go up to Corey like, hey, Corey. Like, they don't know. Like, hey, we're going to buy some beer. We're seniors. You know, we want to party. It's Halloween. You know, we want to party.
Get us a couple of six packs.
And he's like, no, man. He's like, and then like, oh, I know you. You're the killer. And they're like, you killed that kid. Why are you out of jail? And then like they're starting to punk him, right?
Yeah.
And as they're punking him, he sheds first blood. He crushes the Yoo-Hoo bottle and it jacks up his hand.
Crazy strong.
Yeah.
Got that Michael Myers rage.
And then Laurie Strode is getting gas and like, what are you kids doing? You punk kids?
Yeah, so they actually shoved him, so he fell back and actually ended up like puncturing his hand
On the glass.
on the glass that he already shattered with his hand.
Yeah, and then the punk kids said, screw you guys, like, who's the psycho, who's the freak? And Psycho, by the way, Laurie Strode's mom, was from Psycho, and she actually was in Halloween H2O, her mom.
Really?
Yeah, I think she's even driving the same car that she drove.
What the heck?
But she was like a teacher where that version of Laurie Strode worked.
Yeah.
With remember Josh Hartnett? What happened to Josh Hartnett?
Dude, I don't know. I think that guy just took a break. He was like, I'm rich, whatever.
Is he?
I don't know. Probably has more money than we do.
I think I've mentioned this a few. I know, right? I think I've mentioned this a few times. One of my favorite Robot Chickens was someone running into Doug in a bar.
Really?
He has a robot chicken. It's like a clay animation Doug. He's like, some dude's like, hey man, hey, are you Doug? He's like, yeah. Like Doug Funny, right? He's like, yeah. He's like, dude, what you been up to? Nothing.
Dude, and his best friend's name is Skeeter.
Skeeter at the
I was
Honker
like,
Burger.
man, that did not age well.
All right. Well, anyway. Anyway,
We're back.
Yeah, we're back. So then I caught this the second time I saw it. On starts a chain of events. Laurie Strode pulls out a switchblade.
Yeah.
And she goes, you want to do the honors or should I?
Yeah.
And he takes the switchblade. And the switchblade is the switchblade that starts the whole story.
Yes.
By
it
the
does.
way. And they slash this dude's tires.
Yeah. Slash the band geek's tires.
Yeah. Right?
So
He's driving
weird.
like a convertible, like
It's like, get out of here, dude.
Yeah.
No way.
they slash his tires, and then Laurie takes him to the hospital to meet the daughter, and the daughter
And
and
his daughter, not her
Allison?
daughter, her
Granddaughter.
Granddaughter.
her daughter
Allison.
died. Yeah, so it's, and the two immediately like hit it off.
Yeah. They're like, you like death? It's like Wednesday Addams meets.
He had he remember we mentioned this. Wednesday Addams had a boyfriend
Yeah.
played by Bernard the elf.
Oh right, yeah.
I forget the name.
God,
of it.
what's his name? Yeah, but you guys
See
know
Adam's
who he
Family
is.
Values. That was really good. But they stitch up the hand, and it turns out the doctor who stitches up Corey's hand is also seeing the nurse.
Yeah, who becomes the head nurse?
The head nurse, because Allison.
I guess they were.
Allison deserved it, but you gotta bang the doctor.
Yep, she didn't sleep with the doctor.
Yeah. But Corey, but the doctor was still being like rude to her and like, look how hot like my nurse is. And then like Corey like freaked out and like dropped a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
And then the doctor got mad at like Allison, the nurse.
Yeah, for Corey knocking stuff over.
Well, he's the one who said something stupid.
Yeah.
I can imagine like someone be like, hey man, look, check out my nurse. She's pretty freaking hot, right? While she's standing right there.
Yeah,
I could
super awkward.
I could see someone like knocking stuff over, like getting like startled by that.
It's like, what? It was weird. It was just a weird interaction, which, God, where did that lead to? That led to
she wanted to go to a Halloween party with him.
Okay,
she
that's where it wiped
she didn't
to.
want to
Okay.
go alone.
Yeah.
Oh, also her muffler was broken.
right.
Oh yeah,
That's what it went
And
to.
she had a douchebag. She had a douchebag former boyfriend.
Yeah.
Who was a sheriff.
Yes.
Right. And he's like, he pulled her. He's like, your muffler's like all messed up. And this dude had some major Biff vibes.
He was Biff.
Yeah, he was Biff.
He had the Biff hair, the Biff build. He
Just want to let you know that your tail light, your muffler's
Like,
out.
what a- like,
she's
what
like,
a douche.
she's like, why'd you pull me over? Oh, because I missed you. Don't you miss me? You know.
Mind you, she said she was already late for work, so he knows that she works at a hospital.
I know people are.
It's like
life and death going on here.
Yeah, and this guy's just like, I want to pull you over to have fun. This is great.
And going back to Batman things, like Corey and Allison do have a relationship in this movie, and they keep talking about watching the world burn. We want to see the world burn.
Very similar to
the Joker.
Yeah.
Another agent of chaos.
Yes.
Yeah, and so she goes to get her muffler fixed at Corey's shop. And she likes Corey. She wants to see Corey.
Yeah.
And she's like, teach me how to ride your motorcycle. And meanwhile, douchebag it.
Yeah, the
it
bandmates.
teenager, but just the head one.
Yeah.
Is getting like teased by his dad. Like, this looks like a nuts doesn't know how to like change a tire.
Yeah.
So drove all the way home and destroyed the freaking rims on a flat tire.
Yeah. And then he gets called out by Corey on accident. Like, Corey doesn't know that this is a real thing.
Yeah. Wait, what?
Yeah. Well, I jumped the scene. So now then we get to the party. Right. So now we're in the party.
So I'm going to see if anything happened.
I don't think anything major happened.
The other thing that's happening is there's a senior romance happening between Laurie Strode and Frank the sheriff.
Oh, right.
So Frank the sheriff was always sweet on Laurie Strode, but we never saw Ben Tramer in this trilogy. Ben Tramer was her. They only mentioned him in the first one, but in Halloween 2, which this one retconned, he actually bought a Michael Myers mask during the same night that Michael Myers was doing his killing rampage, but like it was just a mask you could buy.
Yeah.
And he was like wearing the same mask, and then they're like, oh my God, there he is. And they hit him with a car.
Oh, right.
And it was like the most random death in like movie history. He's like, oh my God, there he is.
He's back.
So Frank always wanted to hook up with her, but she like Ben Tramer. So they went to they met in the grocery store. Didn't meet. They by happenstance, and he was just buying like all this red meat. And she's like, "You should buy vegetables." And by the way, this does come back. Yeah. You should buy vegetables because vegetables are good for you. And he's like, "I don't know. I'm an old man. I do old man things." And then as Laurie's leaving, the survivor of Halloween Kills, that woman who we mentioned, who Laurie's neighbor, who got her neck. Her sister was there with her in a wheelchair, pretty much. It's like, hey, Laurie.
The sister was not in a wheelchair. The survivor was.
The survivor was in the wheelchair, and the sister's like, hey, Laurie, enjoying like your day, grocery shopping. What'd you get? And she's like, oh crap.
Yeah, she's like,
whoops. And he's like, it looks like you provoked him. He was out for 40 years, and you provoked him. You didn't even know her. She's your
neighbor. You don't even know her name.
You don't even know her. I don't know my neighbor's name.
No, me either.
That's right.
Yeah.
Mind your own business, neighbors. But anyway, so that started that whole like fall romance going on there.
Yeah.
So Corey and Allison go to
a Halloween party at a bar.
And the funny thing was Allison's other nurse friend who was banging the doctor went too.
Yeah.
And she saw like Allison gave Corey a Halloween mask, which was a scarecrow.
Yeah, just like a plastic little scarecrow.
I was trying to think like, was the scarecrow mean anything? I couldn't think of anything.
Yeah, same thing
Unless
here.
it was like a Batman reference.
That's the only thing I could come up with.
All right, I got to stop the tape here. So I'm here editing this thing, and I'm catching some major Batman vibes. So here, Corey quotes the Joker a bunch of times.
You told me that you want to burn it down.
Allison's Halloween costume is Catwoman. Corey's costume was the Scarecrow. Michael Myers' mask is burnt in two sides of his face, just like Two-Face. And he also hulks up like Bane when he kills. So we have here the main villains of the Christopher Nolan Dark Knight trilogy here. So that can't just be a coincidence. Anyway, back to the regularly scheduled program.
But it was a goofy plastic mask.
Yeah.
Much like I should mention in the first Halloween, Michael Myers wore a goofy clown mask. But I guess that'd be too on the nose if he had a goofy clown mask.
Yeah.
But he's having a good time.
Yeah.
At this bar with Allison, they're partying it up. And Lindsay is the Lindsay who was doing the tarot reader from the original movie.
Yeah.
She's the bartender. I think she was the bartender also in Halloween Kills. So it might have been the same bar.
Yeah.
But anyway, they're all partying and Corey's getting jiggy with it, taking off his shirt, like going crazy.
Like laying on the ground, totally going like
doing the Simpsons.
Pulp Fiction. He's on the bicycle on the ground.
Yeah, just doing a freaking weirdo, right? And he goes to get more drinks, and then the mom of the kid, for some reason,
it's just sitting at the bar. The mom of
sitting
the kid
at the bar Halloween night.
At the beginning. Yeah.
She's like, "Hey, Corey, you having a good time, huh?"
Sorry for killing my son.
And he's like, "Oh crap! I'm
He's
so sorry."
So sorry. He's like, "Sorry, you killed my son. I know you killed my son. I know you meant it. I know you killed my."
Wait a minute. Now that I even think about it even more, this is a reverse origin story to where the parents lose the kid and not the other way around. Like Batman loses his parents and becomes Batman. In this case, the parents lose the kid, which creates a new serial killer. Huh. That can't be a coincidence either, right? Anyway, whatever.
Just totally ruins the party. And then
plot device.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. This starts the whole thing. And as I keep saying, cycle of trauma. These people keep finding each other. And then this makes Corey storm off, and he's all mad because he's mad at Allison for bringing him out of the shadows.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have been out here. I should have been wearing the mask. I should have been. Yeah, he said that. I should have been wearing the mask. Yeah. I should have been doing this. And she's like, I love you. She didn't say that, but
keep her hands out.
You're a hero with your struggles, and ask anyone. I'm the psycho babysitter. I'm the f***ing kid killer. And you think you can fix me?
I know, right? That was weird. She's
I'm just okay.
You complete me. You make me feel things. He's like, I don't want anybody.
He turns around and just does the full Batman, just leaves. Yeah, he's just gone. And he shows up on this bridge, and guess who shows up? The It douchebags show up, and he's on as if he couldn't already be in a bad area. He's on an overpass.
I know, a spooky overpass. And you know what else? I don't know what it meant, but there was a giant missing woman poster, missing since last October.
So I saw that, just in the corner of the frame.
Yeah, that showed a missing woman. And it had nothing to do with anything. Maybe it was an homage to It. Because remember the douchebags that pushed the gay guy over the bridge?
Oh!
And there were a bunch of missing people anyway. So that was a clear reference. And then
look at that, man. This movie. Keeps going.
So the kids keep screwing with him.
Yeah.
This time he's got a switchblade.
Yeah, so he whips it out. The one he used to puncture the tire. And he actually, like I mentioned earlier, he says to the kid, oh, your dad's probably mad at you because you couldn't do stuff. And it was right on the nose of this kid.
Yeah, and that's where we talk about the cycle of trauma, of violence and all that.
This movie's an onion.
This movie is an onion. He says, you're only awful to me because your dad's awful to you. And just kind of going back
just like that.
Just like that. And then just kind of going before we go too much further, because we didn't really mention a whole bunch of his home life, but his mom is psycho.
Super psycho.
His mom treats him like
actually psycho.
Yeah, treats him like he's 11.
Yeah.
And
wonders, no dessert for you if you keep your secrets.
Yeah. Who are you talking to? A woman? Oh, you women. They're going to ruin you. They're going to ruin my Corey. I know, right?
So weird.
She even kissed him on the lips later.
That was weird.
I wanted to mention it before, I forgot.
Yeah.
But
we'll bring it back up.
But back to the overpass. So this douchebag kid, and he's not even like a menacing kid.
No,
the sheriff is more like Biff. He's like a football player looking dude. This guy's like a scrawny band player.
That's smaller than Corey.
It's serious, yeah. Corey, and
not just shorter, but physically smaller.
And now that I kind of think about the Batman motif, You know who else Corey reminded me of a lot of this movie? Clark Kent. Taking his glasses off, putting them back on. He looks like Smallville.
He does.
Clark Kent a lot.
Like Bizarro Smallville.
And they took off his glasses and then like shat him. Look at the dog.
Yeah, the drummer stepped on him.
Yeah,
like,
the drummer was like this skinny looking like mullet dude.
Yeah. Like
so they get into
Sade with a mullet.
I know. They get into like a scuffle.
Yeah.
And then they kick the knife over the overpass. Right.
Yeah, the drummer just smacks it out of his hands.
Yeah. And then
like, okay.
And then after like more fighting, the main guy pushes him over the bridge. And everyone's like, "Oh my god, you pushed him!" And this gang,
Yeah,
the gang,
like four of them.
It's seriously like two chicks.
Yeah,
one chick is a little like, "Oh, why are we picking on this guy?" And and the other chick's gung ho.
Yeah,
and then there's main guy and then scrawny guy. And then like main guy pushes him over the bridge, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, you killed him!" Like, I didn't push him. Like,
that's my story.
Yeah,
he jumped.
And then then we smash cut to him.
So, well, the thing is, when he lands and you see his body hit the ground, the scene pans up to see a bum in front of his fire, just murmuring to himself. And for a split second, you see Michael Myers.
Did we see him at this point?
He was right freaking there. I know because I stopped the movie 3 times because my wife kept going, "How did you not see Michael Myers?"
Oh, really?
He's right freaking there.
Because he clearly was there. Like
he's literally standing there.
Yeah. So he drags him into this hole.
Yeah.
And
not the pit of hell, but hey, not that different.
He drags him in, and you know what is funny now that we mentioned more It? That's where It's lair was too.
Yeah.
In the in like the sewer, right?
Yep.
So he has a little lair in the sewer. And there's a scene, probably my least favorite moment in this movie, but I guess because there was a whole, I'll tell you what happens. Michael Myers grabs him, looks him in the eye. And then we see like the accidents, and we see his like parents, and like
it's like Michael Myers could see
his soul.
Yeah,
and then like he runs out, and then the bum's like, "Oh my god!" He takes people in there.
Yeah, he can't, like the bum is like pushing him up against the entrance of this tunnel.
Yeah,
and he's just like, "He takes people in there. I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna do stuff." And you start hearing like a kerfuffle, and you hear,
well, before that happens, before he pushed that button,
go ahead.
He goes, "He takes people in there, but they don't come out. You went in there, but you came out. Why are you special? You go back in there and you give me that mask."
Yeah.
And then he pulls out the switchblade.
Yes.
The bum did. And then there's a kerfuffle.
And then you hear
a bunch of times, but we don't know who stabbed who, but clearly we know who stabbed who.
Yeah, of course. Corey comes out the victor.
The victor.
Or is it?
Well, the bum is dead, and having been stabbed a bunch of times. And from here, he goes back home, and that's when his mom's like, "Where were you all night? I was worried sick about you."
And the funny thing is, that scene, totally random, but it reminded me of Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man.
Yes!
Right?
In the tiny...
Is he going up the stairs?
Another superhero movie.
Sam Raimi, Mr. Guy who just made the first horror freaking Marvel movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, that may have been it.
Yeah. And that also did remind me of it, in the bathroom with the blood coming out.
Yeah,
because he was all bloodied up in this bathroom.
Yeah, he was,
because he just killed, and his hand was getting infected.
Yeah, and he had like this perpetual scar on his face throughout the entire movie.
Yeah, and then he goes to Allison's house.
Yeah, it's so dumb.
Did he go to Allison's house?
No, he called to meet her first. So he called to meet her first, and then she goes to meet him. He's like,
oh, he meets her at the diner. He meets her at Denny's.
Yeah.
With beer.
Yeah.
Denny's with beer. That's where they went. Does Denny's have beer?
Yeah, Denny's now serves beer.
Okay, they went to Denny's.
They serve Budweiser.
Yeah, king of beers. They go to Denny's, and then he's like, "I know, I think I'm like changing, but like I think we should run away together. I think we should I'm sorry, like this and that." Then Biff shows up.
Yeah,
Officer Biff is like
drunk on his buds.
He's like, "Hey, baby, what's going on?" Like I don't remember what he said, but something to that effect.
Yeah.
And then she's like, "Okay, well," and then
she's like, "I'm with someone."
She's like, "I'm with someone," and he's like, "Oh, I know you. You're that killer. You're that killer. You killed him good." And then he's like, "Hey, baby, like I guess like this is who you talk to now when like you're at home and lonely." And then like then Corey gets up. He's like,
Mr. Bravado all of a sudden.
He's like, "Hey, man, why don't you go off?" Or something like that. And then
he was like, "Whoa, Brahma Bull, chill out there."
Yeah,
chill out.
And then like Biff was with his like friends.
Yeah,
and then
who are probably also cops, by the way,
right? And then like one of them's like, "Kick his ass, Seabass."
Yeah.
Like,
He's like, "No, I'm gonna just sit down."
He's like, "I'll take care of this later. I'll take care of this guy on my own."
Yeah. Wink.
Yeah, pretty much. And then Corey drives Allison home back to Laurie's house. Biff followed them.
Yes.
Or maybe he just knew where Allison lived because they were dating, right?
Yeah. And then Biff follows him.
Follows Corey, who continues to the sewer.
Yeah.
And so they get into like a little fight, and then okay, I need to get the scene straight because I actually really liked this scene.
Yeah, this seems pretty good. I'm seeing it play out. But carry on.
Because
this is
the halfway mark of this movie.
Yeah.
So we really actually don't see Michael Myers until the second act of this movie.
Yeah.
So this is about halfway through. So they get into a little kerfuffle. Corey runs into the hole. Biff, I like calling him Biff. Biff runs in after him. And I like this scene because we don't see Corey. We know what's lurking.
Yeah, we know what's in the tunnel.
But there's a scene where like you said before, like Michael Myers is clearly like sitting there looking at him in one scene. And it looks so awesome. You just see like the white mask like.
It's crazy. It's so creepy.
And then Corey jumps Biff. They get into like a fight. And then like Corey like holds him. He's like, do it. Show me how to do it. And then Michael like gets up and he's like jacked up, right?
Yeah. He's like missing fingers. Like he's like this.
Yeah. He had his fingers like shot off with Laurie's shotgun in the movie. So he's like 3-finger jacked up, but he's just getting up all jacked up. He's like, do it. Show me how to do it. And then he pulls a rusty knife out of the wall.
Yes.
And they play the song. And then like he just kind of like staggers like over and just slashes this guy's neck.
Yeah.
And do it. And
then they fall back. Like Corey and the now dying officer.
Yeah. And then Michael Myers just goes to town stabbing this guy.
Just
and then Michael Myers like kind of gets standing up and he hulks up.
Yeah. He's like,
yeah. So he's like recharged again.
Yeah.
And then I guess that's end scene.
Yeah, that's end scene. He's like, oh, this is great.
Yeah,
they're something else.
They're buddies now.
So weird.
And
so weird.
There was a curse of Michael Myers where they were trying to like pass on the curse from one person to another. And I think like I don't know if Corey was cursed. I think Michael Myers Michael Myers isn't Jason, right?
No.
Michael Myers, if you remove his head, he will die.
Yeah, he's human.
He's just like really unstoppable. And maybe he is death incarnate in some way. Or maybe the legend of Halloween gets to him, which is what Dr. Loomis said. But anyway, we then smash cut. I'm not sure how far into
we go into the hospital.
Was it the hospital?
Or we go into the hospital and we find out the nurse. No, we find out like we can jump with two scenes. So we jump to the hospital. We find out that Allison is like, oh man, I didn't get the freaking job. Mm-hmm. And it's like, now we know that, we find out that her
slutty friend,
her slutty redheaded friend, which the moment I saw this redheaded chick, I'm like, she is for sure getting killed by Michael.
Yeah.
And then we cut to her being at the doctor's house.
So they're at the doctor's house. The doctor bought her lingerie. He's like, oh man, you're sexy. So like, she's like, oh man, you're rich. Like it was like a total like,
she still calls him doctor.
Yeah.
So weird.
It was a whole like horror movie, like cliche.
Yeah. Very cliche.
And the funny thing about this was the nurse, when they went to the Halloween party, saw Corey's cheap dollar store Halloween scarecrow mask.
Yeah.
And said, oh, that's not scary. That's not scary. So she goes upstairs, finds the lingerie the doctor left. She hears like him scream or something.
Yeah,
she's like, doctor? Ah! Yeah, doctor. And then, actually, this was actually kind of creepy. She goes down, looks at the pool, and there's Corey wearing that mask.
With a bag over the head of the doctor.
Yeah, slitting his throat or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he looks up like, and then she goes, ah!
And then who's behind her?
Yeah, and then Michael Myers appears behind her, grabs her, and then does his classic like wall art on wall art.
Yes, I was just like that right there, buddy. Oh, literal fun for him. Did Corey like yell at him? Because I know Corey got his hand smashed in the door. Oh
from
yeah,
Allison trying to.
No, I think he was still nursing. No. So he took the bandage off his hand and he put it up to the glass.
Yeah,
so he could feel the death.
Yeah,
so weird.
He was doing a psychic like yes. Now. So then like he hooks up more with Allison. Like him and Allison are just becoming like more and more together.
Yeah, like and intertwined like creepily so.
They really like each other. They're the only ones that feel. Oh, and then right before this happened.
Yeah.
Laurie Strode looked out her window, and in the first one, it was Michael Myers looking back.
Yes.
In this one, it was Corey.
Corey looking back at her from like the side of a bush.
Just like Michael Myers. Just like Laurie Strode did in the 2018 one. And then she goes outside looking like Corey, and he just appears out of nowhere like, hey, and he talked to Allison.
Yeah, he's like legit behind her. She's like, huh.
Yeah.
And she's probably, of course, the only person who did that to her was Michael Myers.
Yeah. So she thinks that now he's infected with the shape. She even mentions like, the shape passes on or whatever, different people.
Yeah.
But that's at the end, by the way. She mentioned, so she goes and she talks to the dad of the kid who died at the beginning. And she goes, he was a good kid. But then like he went to go like see him. Like after he got his ass beat, or I think after like he ran into Michael Myers, remember that end scene?
Oh yeah.
I think is when he staggered home. So he staggered home.
Yeah.
And then he staggered home. Oh, I know. He staggered home, saw the dad.
Yeah.
The dad saw him, went to talk to him, but he had the devil's eyes.
Yeah.
The Corey was a good kid. It was an accident, but this was something different.
Yeah.
He had the devil's eyes.
The man I saw walking wasn't Corey.
Yeah. So then Laurie Strode goes to talk to the mom. Mm-hmm. He's like, your son's seeing my daughter. Oh, we're seeing a woman this. Really crazy woman. And then that's when Laurie forbids Allison to see Corey, which is always a good idea.
Yeah, super good.
Always goes well.
That happens.
So at this point, now Corey is turning into Michael Myers.
Yeah, like he is.
Oh, he called Allison. He says, like, your mom's trying to kill me. And I'm not sure if this is before or after they went to the radio tower.
This was after.
Like this, all this stuff sort of happened.
It happens pretty fast because this movie is only an hour and a half long. It's hour 50 something minutes long.
It's like almost 2 hours long. So I don't know. A lot happens.
It happens very fast though.
Because they go to the radio tower where Corey used to hang out, and then that's what we're talking about. Burning the world down. Oh, and it's like he had two plans. He wanted to run away with Allison, and he wanted to kill people.
Yes,
right. So he made a plan
war with himself.
So he made plans with Allison to go run away. Right, Halloween night they're going to run away. Have we even hit Halloween night yet?
No, not yet.
This movie happened so fast that it took place in like a week. It's like the first Halloween movie to actually take place.
Yeah, that took a whole week.
A week.
They made plans.
They made plans. Yeah, we'll see you Tuesday.
Crazy.
There was character arcs unfolding.
Yeah.
But anyway, at the radio station, he starts acting really stupid and jumping over the floors. They were on top of the building in the radio tower.
He's parkouring from the top.
And he just jumps down one, and he jumps down two, and then DJ comes out. He's like, "What the hell you guys doing here? I'm gonna open up a can of whoop ass on you guys."
He's like, "So you better leave or I'll whoop your ass."
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And he's like, "Oh, I know you. You're Corey. You're a killer." And he goes, "I know you. You're crazy.
Yeah, your mom's crazy.
Your crazy daughter.
Yeah,
like something like that. And I'm gonna go off before I whoop your ass or something like that." So they just leave, and then okay, tomorrow.
The camera pans back, and Laurie Strode is in the car watching them.
Was she?
Yeah.
Yes, I remember.
It's also in the trailer.
And by the way, the trailer did a really good job of not revealing that.
It revealed a lot, but it was all in such random order. You wouldn't know what was happening, and scenes were not aligned with one another. So it was great.
And you didn't know that Corey was a major character in this
at all whatsoever.
Yeah, so that was actually a welcome change. But anyway, so then I think my favorite scene in this movie, which I think maybe a lot of people would disagree with me, Corey goes to get his power-up item.
I loved it because I could not stop laughing at how ridiculous it was.
It reminded me of the Three Stooges and all those old those hallway and the doors open and the door. The
Scooby-Doo scene.
Who's chasing who? Yeah. Who's chasing who? Who's chasing who?
Turns out it's
Corey,
a lot of back and forth.
They filmed it like that.
Yeah.
Where Corey goes into the sewer and he goes, "You have something I want," to Michael Myers.
Yeah.
And you see them kerfuffling, on frame, in and out of frame, in and out of frame, different spots of frame, foreground, background, just like a freaking cartoon.
Yeah.
And it just ends with Michael Myers being shoved. Corey takes his mask,
into frame.
Yeah, Michael Myers is in the middle of the frame, and then he runs off, takes the mask, and just like Michael does when he gets pushed down, he does his core thrust.
Raises from the dead.
Raises his. He wasn't even dead. He just got shoved.
Just does that.
he just shoved him, and then Michael Myers cores up and then looks at the camera without his mask, but he's all burnt up.
But he's a silhouette too, so you can't really see his face.
You just see a crispy face. So this is the part where Corey goes back to the gas station or whatever and writes Psycho on that loser's
the band kids
they're all hanging out again
hood or whatever.
Trunk. And this is Halloween night. We're officially at Halloween night. The thing Halloween night, right? And then there's a chase ensues, right? So they go. Okay, this is the saddest scene also in the movie.
Oh, yeah, this was a rough one.
Because they go to the junkyard.
Yep, that's where his dad works.
Yes, where his dad works, working late with a cat. Yeah. Cat's fine, by the way.
Yeah, cat's fine.
Cat's fine.
I was going to say.
You got lots of tummy rubs the next day. But
sure.
His dad was really nice to him. His
looked out for him, made sure he was well taken care of and all that stuff.
And he even, we did miss a huge scene. Remember we said where Laurie Strode also told Corey to stay away from Allison because Corey told his mom he was going to run away with her, right? Just before he got the mask.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, Laurie Strode and her mom actually, or rather, Corey's mom actually met.
Yeah, they met, and I think I mentioned that, and then she said he was going to leave, and that's when he tried to kiss her.
Yeah,
that's when his mom tried to kiss. Corey's mom tried to kiss him.
Yeah,
on the lips.
I think after she smacked him or something.
Yeah, she smacked. Yeah. She's like, oh, and he's like, you go run off, and then the dad's like, I hope you find love.
Yeah,
and then he went to bed at the murder house where it wasn't a murder house, the accident house.
Yeah, where the accident happened.
And that's where Laurie Strode had like a whole like cycle of violence.
Yeah.
Talk like you find each other and like you're bad for each other. They're not ready for a relationship, which is actually true stuff.
Yeah.
If you're in recovery of any kind, like you to seek counsel, seek therapy, do what you can.
But she nopes out of that house like Batman.
Well, right after Corey says, you gave me the knife. You invited me in. And I remember like vampires, you have to invite them in.
Oh, right.
You invited me in. So Laurie started this whole thing and like Corey knew it,
Yeah.
So anyway, we're back to Halloween night.
Yeah.
Back to Halloween night. Those goofballs are at the they're at the yard, the wrecking yard.
Oh, right. Yeah. Because actually, they showed up at the gas station again. That's how they found out that the hood was scraped up with, what the heck did it say on there?
It said Psycho.
Oh, it said Psycho. Yeah. So they see Corey. Exactly.
Yeah.
They see Corey on his motorcycle. So he just gets out of there. So they follow him, obviously, to the junkyard. And this is where like just murder and mayhem and sadness ensue right here.
These D-bags knew that someone was there. It was the dad with watching TV, right? And they see his motorcycle and they decide to drag it. So he goes, here, the main guy's like, hey, I'm going to lock this thing. You go in the car to Mullet Man.
Yeah.
And you drive the car. So he puts a chain around the motorcycle. And then he goes, okay, Mullet Man, you go. And he's like, go, Mullet Man. He goes to look at Mullet Man because he's not going. And the guy's got a knife or something.
No, he's got his drumstick through his eye.
He's got a drumstick through his eye. He goes, oh no, Mullet Man's dead. So they go. So, okay. So this is where carnage ensues because now Corey is behind the wheel of a tow truck.
Yep.
And everybody's running. And the main kid goes to get the dad.
Yeah.
Who's like, oh my God, there's a psycho killing people.
So he arms the kid.
He gives the kid a rifle and he has a handgun for himself.
Yep.
And meanwhile, the other kids are running. The girl, like the curly hair girl, jumps on the fence. And then Corey just rams into the fence, pushing the girl down, just pancaking
runs over, pins her underneath the car.
Still alive.
Yeah, still alive. So then her other friend, the other chick, comes over to check on her. And is like, oh, you're still not dead. And she goes, well, you are. Yeah. And she looks up just to get whacked to death in the face with like a freaking wrench or something?
Yeah, it might have been a wrench. It was just
like, man, she went full Dom Toretto on her.
I know.
I'm just like, Toretto!
Family down. And then you see the dad, and he sees Corey holding the Michael Myers mask just like that.
Yeah, like palming it.
Yeah, just kind of what was it? Like the Headless Horseman.
Yeah. So, and the thing is, I think that's where the scene is. You don't see Corey's actual head. I think you just see the mask and him below the neck.
You see his head.
You think so?
Dude, it's one of those like Mandela effects.
Yeah, probably you do.
You see what you look at.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
And then the dad's like, Corey, and then like the dude pulls out the jock dude pulls out the gun.
Yeah, the rifle.
The rifle, and then the dad goes, no, shoots the dad in the head.
Yeah. And as the dad falls, You'd accept Corey to be there, but obviously he pulls a Batman and it's like gone.
Yeah, he's gone. Like a boogeyman gone.
Yeah.
Like Jason teleporting Jason gone.
All the time.
And then how does he kill this man? Oh, somehow he pushes this guy down. Like I forget how he gets him. He just I think he hits him with a wrench too.
Probably.
Because he gets him down, right?
Yeah.
So Corey gets main guy down. And then I'm pretty sure this kind of reminded me of I forget the movie. It was another horror movie, but he got a blowtorch and blowtorched this guy's mouth. And you're
right.
Yeah.
What freaking movie was that?
Oh my god! It kind of reminds me of some other movie.
Let's see,
because it wasn't a blowtorch. I remember it being a flare, but it was like the same visual. It kind of reminded me of Silent Night, Deadly Night, maybe. But then he proceeds to the girl who fell down on the fence and steps on her face.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
just like oof.
Oh my god,
oof. Anzer. Yeah. Right there.
Then he proceeds with the Michael Myers mask now on to the radio tower.
Yeah.
And at the radio tower,
man, does he do this guy in.
This reception, well, first the receptionist saw Michael Myers, as far as the world knows, walk in, who is on the loose, by the way.
Yeah, she doesn't know he's on the loose. This is not him. This is very Scream vibes because there's one killer in two places.
Yeah. And she goes what do you want? And you hear the DJ first talking to somebody why are you the person on the phone is why are you using Legend of Michael Myers? He's coming to get you.
Yeah.
He's I'm going to play music because without music, he says you look into the darkness and the darkness will look back at you.
Ooh.
Right. And he goes, well, Nietzsche also said without music there will be no life or something like that.
Yeah.
He starts playing some funky music, right?
Yeah.
And meanwhile in the background, Michael Myers is Corey.
Yeah.
Corey is killing the receptionist.
Yeah.
And I think that reminded me a lot of Texas Chainsaw Massacre or at the radio station killer. But anyway, then Corey messes this guy up good.
Yeah.
Corey grabs this guy, crashes his face
into the soundboard.
Just messes this guy up, and then on the last hit pulls him up, and his jaw is broken down.
Yeah.
And his tongue is just hanging out.
Yeah.
And
somehow he got these scissors.
Scissors. He gets the scissors and chops his tongue off while he's still alive. Here,
and then he just dies, and then it's crazy because he has this painting behind him. It looks like a guy breakdancing, so his feet and arms are up in the air, and the camera pans down just so slowly to align this guy's head with that painting behind him, so it looks like his head's just been smashed in, which, as we know, it just has been.
Yeah, and then the record just plays some funk with.
Yeah,
because the guy's tongue
it's got skips
fell on the fell on the record,
and then we wipe to Allison listening to the radio, and she cuts it off because it's been skipping the entire time.
What is that? And she's texting Corey, Corey, where are you? Oh my god. Okay.
And where do we wipe from here? Do we wipe to?
No, this is the end. This is the finale now.
Okay.
So there's the finale set piece now where I guess
and it is a set piece.
Yeah. So. Laurie Strode, we assume that she's sad because she started this new cycle of violence.
Yeah.
So she goes and she
poured herself a few fingers of whiskey, right?
Something, lights a pumpkin, and then calls 911 to report a suicide.
Yeah. At her own address. Because in the trailer, I don't know if they showed it in the new one, but we just saw the trailer. She unlocked the doors. She did.
Did she do it in the movie too?
No, I don't recall her doing
that. Or they didn't show it.
I think she locked it. It looked like she locked the doors.
I don't know. But anyway, she reports a suicide, and then she looks like she's going to commit suicide to the viewer.
Yeah.
Then we see in the background Michael Myers, who we think is Michael Myers sneaking up. And then we hear a gunshot. Yep. And then we hear a splatter. And then the door opens. And it's a pumpkin that just got shot.
Just obliterated.
And then Laurie's like, hello, Michael. And she just goes to town on Corey.
Yeah.
And who's wearing Michael Myers' mask, by the way.
And he's taking these hits he's
taking these hits like a champ. And then she takes off his mask. He's like, see, told you the darkness would get you. Something stupid.
Yeah.
Something like that.
And then, they had a quick tete-a-tete right there. And then the door's about to open.
Oh, yeah.
Because we start hearing Allison going, Mom, or something like that. Or whatever.
And it's like the same shot from the first one with her holding a knife because he fell down the stairs.
Yeah. So he fell downstairs. And he was actually holding the knife
Because he
says, if I can't have her, no one
one
will.
can.
So he just throats himself.
Yeah, he just stabs his throat real good.
Yeah.
And then
She pulls it out.
she pulls it out and then she catches him. So it's like almost like a reverse shot kind of how the movie started.
Yeah.
And then Allison just like runs out like freaking out like, oh my God, my mom killed like my boyfriend.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And then like as that's happening, the real Michael comes in.
Yeah, he's just inside, and you're like, no.
Yeah, and he picks up his mask.
Yeah, he picks up his mask, and then he goes over to Corey. No, he goes over to Corey. We thought Corey was dead.
Oh, wakes up, grabs his hand while he's grabbing the mask.
Yeah.
And twists his head around.
Yes, just like he killed the last dude in freaking Halloween Kills.
Yeah, he twists his head around since his neck was already slit, just opened up all the way.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's
Ugh.
pretty good stuff. But anyway, now it's the final showdown. Literally, the final showdown between Michael Myers and Laurie Strode, and they fight. And like Michael Myers is jacked up. He's tired.
Yeah.
Like this whole movie, he's like really sleepy.
Yeah, this is a geriatric battle to the end.
And they really nerfed him good because like he was actually able to fight like Laurie Strode, and then like there's just a bunch of like quick stabs here, quick stabs there, and then she gets the upper hand on him and like
almost crucifies him to this butcher block.
Yeah, she gets him on the butcher's block, and then Allison, as she's driving away, sees the burning radio tower.
Yeah,
she knows something happened there, and then she gets a call from Frank, the sheriff, like saying, "Oh no, we're going to Laurie's house. Is something about a suicide? What the hell?" And then she turns around and sees like Laurie Strode like killing Michael Myers.
Yeah,
and then he does this thing where he pulls his knife. So his hand is like stigmatted to the cutting board.
Yeah.
And then he pulls it out and it goes
splits his freaking hand in half.
Looks at it, which by the way is a direct nod to direct nod to Friday the 13th, the final chapter, when Jason gets macheted in the hand and looks at it exactly the same way. So this being the final chapter of Halloween has the exact same
Such
wound
a nod. And then he
Jason.
Proceeds to choke Laurie Strode
with that hand.
With
said hand. And then Allison comes and like just jacks him up some more.
My God, this guy's turning into a freaking just slice.
So he's pretty much dead to rights now. He is dead to rights. And then like Laurie Strode is like, you're just a man. And now you're going to stop breathing. And she slits his throat.
Yeah, she stabbed him in the head, in the ribs.
Yeah, she stabbed him in the ribs, the back, and slits his throat.
Yeah.
And then the police come in. They're like, whoa, what the hell happened here? Like Corey's dead on the floor.
Everybody's taking off sunglasses going, what's happening?
Yeah. Oh, no time for backup. All that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and then the sheriff comes like, oh my God, you caught him. Michael Myers.
Michael.
He's dead. Not dead enough.
And then someone was like, we don't do this. That's not how we go about
all the
things.
cops are like, we don't do this.
This is not how it works.
It is tonight.
Yeah. You're like, ooh.
It's on now. And there's a funeral procession with the entire town.
Yeah.
Like it was like Santa Claus
going straight back to the
junkyard.
To the junkyard, yeah.
And my friend picked this up when I saw it. She said she saw the wood chipper.
I saw that. It was in the beginning, and I saw that, and I'm like, this will be used to destroy someone or something.
Yeah.
Lo and behold, this is exactly where we're headed to.
I was afraid Laurie was gonna kill herself too because they all put Michael Myers crowd surfed because he was tied to the roof of a car like an elk.
Yeah, like a prized elk.
Yeah, like a prized elk. And then they threw him in the wood chipper, and it looked like Laurie Strode went in the wood chipper.
I was half expecting him to grab her to bring her in.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But he was dead. He was dead during this whole thing. No, like, Rah! They threw him in the wood chipper, and he just turned into pizza.
Yeah,
he turned to ground beef in the wood chipper.
He's dead. He's done.
And
it's a metal grinder, actually, so even worse than a wood chipper.
I know. And you see his like face get literally
just eaten a lot. Like
you see his brains come out and everything. So
that's pretty gnarly.
It was gnarly, and this reminded me of the scene in Friday the 13th, the reboot, where they had Jason dead to rights in a similar fashion, but didn't have the guts to actually push him in the wood chipper.
So they had the guts to do it this time.
They had the guts to do it this time. So, bodily dismemberment when you run into a boogeyman doesn't hurt to double tap, triple tap, quadruple tap,
or take them apart.
Bodily dismemberment, and that's the end of the story. So
Halloween ends.
And then we cut to the brief epilogue.
Yeah,
where Laurie's finishing her book, saying like the shape is ended and like the town can like heal now. Michael is dead. And then Allison leaves Haddonfield once and for all because like there's nothing for her there anymore.
Yeah.
And it ends with Frank the sheriff delivering vegetables to Laurie Strode.
Yep, sitting down, and then he just says, "What
Cherry
about
blossoms.
those cherry blossoms?"
Because he was saying earlier that he was learning Japanese and he might want to go to Japan and see the cherry blossoms. And so we were hinting that Laurie Strode will retire and move to Japan with Frank the sheriff.
Dun, dun, dun.
And then it cuts to an empty house playing "Don't Fear the Reaper" to Michael Myers' mask sitting dormant on the road.
On its side.
On the side.
Yeah. Man.
I liked this movie.
I did too, man. I enjoyed it.
I'm going to give it a B. I think that this movie gives a nice homage to not only the Halloween series, but horror movies in general.
Yeah.
It's not the Halloween movie you expect, but it's the Halloween you deserve. Wow. See Halloween Ends, because this is how you end a 40-year franchise with something different, something unexpected.
I feel like we wrote very similar things here.
I just made this up.
Yeah, it's good. Hey, we both, I guess I made this up right before we started the show.
I know, right?
So I'm also going to give this one a B. I said, here comes yet another Halloween movie, yet it delivers from the homage to horror movies of old to kill scenes which left nothing to the imagination. This movie made for a perfect Halloween flick. And just like you mentioned, a perfect end to Halloween movies, as you know, so far as we know. But definitely watch it.
It'll be rebooted.
Oh, for sure.
Like even the
has to be.
Even the Laurie Strode story has rebooted 3 times.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think like what the negatives were to this movie. I think maybe just some wonky timing.
Yeah, the timing could have been a little better. The wipes could have been a little better. But
I feel like I wasn't sure what days were happening, because like it seemed like Halloween was like 2 days before Halloween, which they could have just said by like Saturday, or maybe even started this movie in September, like on a non-Halloween, and then just let it air out.
Yeah, right.
Have it
they could have
take over the. I think that rush was my only real negative, how they rushed it. But other than that, very well handled.
That wasn't bad. Very good.
And not much more I would have wanted from it. I'm really glad they just didn't rehash the same movie 1,000 times over.
Yeah, that would have been terrible. But this one was good. It was like, to me, the main twist of Corey being Michael Myers, like having a scream nod like that with 2 killers. That was something else. I was just like, whoa! I did not expect that.
I did like Sleepy Michael Myers. Always so
yeah, it was pretty good.
Anyway, that has been our hot take for Halloween. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit that bell notification. Do what you can. Hide your kids, hide your wife, for this is Halloween spooky time as we film this. Yeah. Remember to like, share, subscribe. I don't know if I said that again.
I think we said it.
I'm your host, Mark Rubalcaba, joined once again by Mr. Ale Panetta for Clubhouse Movies Podcast. We will catch you next time.
Okay, one more conspiracy theory here. Michael Myers had 3 fingers when he died, just like Danny DeVito's penguin. Come on, man. Everybody chill.